and welcome to this Telit Cinterion webinar, using deviceWISE to accelerate digital transformation in industrial environments. I'm Amanda Flink, the head of global events here at Telit, and I will be moderating today's event. To explain this topic today, I'm pleased to be joined by Ricardo Buranello, the SVP of IoT Platforms here at Telit Cinterion. Now, just before I hand it over to Ricardo to start our presentation, I do have a few quick housekeeping items. I would like to remind our audience that we will have time to answer some questions at the end of the presentation. Simply submit a question by posting in the questions box located near the bottom of your screen. Also, please be sure to check out the resources section for some additional information on our topic today. There you can also find today's slide deck and some other resources. And then finally, we will send out the replay link to all attendees at the conclusion of the webinar. And with that, Ricardo, I will hand it over to you to start our presentation.
Hello, Amanda. Thank you so much for the introduction, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and talking a little bit more about digital transformation and how deviceWISE can help companies to really achieve this next level of productivity. For the ones that are not 100% familiar with Telit, and now Telit Cinterion, introducing the new brand that we have after the merge with Cinterion. Telit is a global company, and the only thing that we do is IoT. We help companies to connect millions of devices every year with our IoT technology. And I would say that Telit is definitely the largest Western pure IoT company in the world. And in our product portfolio, we can help customers with a secure end-to-end offering from hardware, software, connectivity, and platforms for all the different needs of digital transformation. The company is currently divided in 4 business units. One for custom solutions that we can help companies to come up with full turnkey solutions from hardware, software, and a full combination of products. On the module side, Telit is the largest Western chip maker for IoT. We produce cellular modules, millions of those, with all the different types of technologies, from old legacy technologies such as 2G, 3G, and 4G, 5G devices, as well as non-cellular technologies like GPS, GNSS, Wi-Fi, and more. Every time that a project requires a cellular connectivity, you need to have a cellular provider, a connectivity package also offered to these specific solution. And Telit is a global MVNO, a virtual mobile network operator, and we can provide to our customers a full connectivity package and the software for you to control the quality and the cost of your connectivity data. But here, the focus is going to be on the software and platforms. I am the Senior Vice President for our software division. And inside our software division, we have 4 pillars of technology with all the different components that you need for a complete digital transformation, both inside your factories as well as in your connected products. Everything starts on the edge. deviceWISE Edge is the module for us to do all the machine connectivity, edge logic, machine learning, and integration between IT and OT. deviceWISE View is a full HMI and SCADA system. deviceWISE Cloud provides all device management, connectivity management, data management in the cloud level. And SecureWISE is our global cybersecurity solution out there in the market. This technology is a technology that is extremely mature. This started inside IBM, and we have many decades of development and R&D to reach the level of digital maturity that we have today on deviceWISE. Actually, deviceWISE started inside IBM in 1986 with a product called PlantWorks. And when Telit acquired a spin-off of IBM Automation Group, a company called ILS Technology, we rebrand this product to deviceWISE and reached the level of maturity that we have today, where our technology is deployed in most of the largest industrial companies in the world. deviceWISE is currently used in many different verticals. So from food and beverage with companies like Coca-Cola and Hershey's to oil and gas with companies like Shell and Halliburton, to pharmaceutical companies like Johnson and Johnson, Abbott Labs, GSK, and more. But definitely the most important vertical for us is in the automotive space, where we currently have 8 out of the 10 largest car makers in the world using device-wise technology on the shop floor in order to make their industrial processes more productive, with better quality and more efficient. And with this technology, we received several awards during this year, and we are currently recognized as the industrial leader for smart manufacturing platforms. I personally like the way that ABI Research positioned DeviceWise and described DeviceWise as a leader in this space, and saying that compared to Kepler, DeviceWise has the advantage in lower latencies. Compared to homegrown data extraction and edge intelligence solutions provided by industrial automation companies, DeviceWise has more flexibility and more advanced software. So before I enter in the details of the product and our technology and how we are helping these huge companies in terms of achieving more productivity with IoT adoption, uh, let's really think a little bit in terms of how an IoT factory looks like. And in this picture here, it doesn't look like an IoT or a modern factory at all, right? I see some equipment, most of them probably not very new. It just looked like a normal brownfield factory, like so many that I visited during this several decades of my career. What what do we need to make this specific factory a real IoT factory? And what's necessary is that we start thinking in terms of how to aggregate all the different IT and OT components and adding additional layers of integration between these devices. Nobody will take machines that are currently working and throw them away, and taking existing enterprise systems that are working and throw them away to have IoT adoption. The digital transformation comes with the necessity of embracing all the brownfield of equipment, OT equipment, and IT systems in one single architecture. And that's our vision for DeviceWise and for digital transformation. When we start looking at a factory like this, you might see a smart crane over there, and maybe this is controlled by a Rockwell controller. And you might see here a CNC, maybe has a Siemens 840D CNC controller, an AGV moving parts around, another machine moved by a PLC from Siemens, a robot from Fanuc, people here working in this factory, different types of enterprise systems like ERP systems, databases, etc., and IT systems. And what we do is we create a layer of integration between all these different types of IT systems and OT systems with the adoption of the device-wise technology. So our vision is that with our device-wise software, you can have this complete bidirectional integration without the necessity of writing any custom code, any line of custom software, by making this complete integration out there. So this is an interesting slide, and I took this matrix from Microsoft. Microsoft put this matrix together showing the different steps for digital transformation, and how much value it will bring and how much time it takes to adopt. The way that we thought about device-wise technology was to help customers to adopt IoT and digital transformation independently on the level of maturity that they have. Starting with collecting data, DeviceWise can bring all the data collection from any type of existing machine with the list of drivers we have, as well as from additional sensors that you might use to instrument your shop floor. Connecting this data with your IT systems, providing all edge logic inside the tool, making IT and OT to talk. Providing data visualization will help you to get more productivity. Last week, I just visited one of our large customers. It's a global leader for heavy machinery, And they were telling me that the productivity of that specific factory that adopted device-wise technology increased their OE in 20% by the simple fact of having the data visualized by all the operators and managers. So now they have a clear dashboard, the scoreboard showing what is the productivity of the factory, taking better decisions in terms of increasing this productivity. Integrating this with time series databases and cloud models, it will allow you to have a transparency and predictions by adding AI into your systems, as well as providing all self-optimizations and different types of integrations and different types of products offering, such as pay-as-you-go, pay-as-you-use, and connected machines for your different products. So with that in mind, Telit typically support customers in two types of environments. One for connected machines, where we can help any machine builder in terms of providing a full digital transformation on the products that they are offering. Imagine that you have a company that is selling, let's say, packaging machines. They might have today a business model that they produce a packaging machine, they sell, next month they go there and they try to sell another one. Now, how IoT can change the life of this type of company? Packaging as a service is a big trend. Now, instead of selling my packaging machine, I can go to my customer and offer this as a service. I can charge X dollars or cents of dollars for packaging that I am producing with that machine itself. I can provide remote visibility to that specific machine and make sure that all the maintenance of this machine is being done properly and that all the productivity of this machine is keeping up, so ensuring a better output for the end customer. And a full integration with all the different types of platforms. Not only we can use our technology integrating for the connected machine, but we also can help customers on connected factories. So connecting all the different machines from all the different vendors, integrating all the different drivers into one single platform, bringing all this data from OT to IT, and optimizing the way that customers are running their operations. Creating a total harmonization and standardization in terms of this data and IT systems, and providing better KPIs and performance controls in the line. And how do we do that? So the Telit technology starts with a software that is called deviceWISE. deviceWISE is a software that can be installed in any type of server. It can run in a Windows machine, in a Linux machine, in a big mainframe, or small embedded gateways. When you install deviceWISE, deviceWISE comes with hundreds of drivers for you to talk to any machine with its specific protocol. Of course, that we talk all the standard protocols, such as OPC UA, OPC-DA, Modbus, BACnet, MT Connect, and more, but we have more than 300 native drivers. This means that when we are talking to a Siemens controller, we have a Siemens S7 protocol that allows me to talk to this specific controller in almost real time, collecting all this data and doing all the data transformation inside deviceWISE. Inside deviceWISE, not only I collect this data, but I can do math, I can write algorithms, I can do parsing, I can do full contextualization of this data, create applications in here, and integrate this with different types of IT systems, such as my MES, my ERP system, different types of databases, and different types of cloud solutions. All these running in a completely bi-directional way. With the deviceWISE view, it provides a full layer of HMI and SCADA platform for you to do a complete bi-directional data visualization application. We can collect data not only from machines, but also from cameras and external sensors, and everything compliant for a private 5G network. So when I am talking about a connected factory project like this, what you can do is absolutely endless. Let me give you a couple of examples of use cases here. Imagine that you want to do an automation of your production line. you can let deviceWISE to talk to your MES system and understand what is the next part number to be produced. Based on this information, deviceWISE can go to a database and collect what is the recipe for that specific machine. Process this information and change the recipe on the controller, setting up the line automatically. Collecting the data for your productivity, calculating your KPIs, such as quality, yield, line throughput, OE, and more, and bring all this information to HMIs for the operators, for an end-on displays for everybody that is walking on the shop floor, and to control rooms and management dashboards so people understand how the productivity of that specific factory is going on. If this data needs to go to your ERP system, no problem. deviceWISE can ingest this data in your ERP system, collect data from different types of enterprise systems, contextualize this data, and provide a full integration of IT and OT. But there are some use cases where the devices are distributed around the world. And a great example for this is for a connected machine. If you are working with a OEM, certainly these machines, they are spread across hundreds of different customers. And with the usage of deviceWISE Cloud, we can provide a full remote connectivity to these machines that are already connected with deviceWISE, providing a secure remote access so you can open tunnels for having and fixing problems over the air, and a complete visualization on how all these machines are performing. Maybe you can even do integration with different IT systems where these machines, they can open tickets for maintenance, for example, by itself. It's just like the machine calling the doctor if something is going wrong. This type of technology, according to McKinsey, when properly deployed, can increase productivity up to 40%. So it's a significant game changing for the industry, the adoption of digital transformation Industry 4.0 and IoT. And with these new technologies, this is easier than ever. So when you think about deviceWISE is such a unique platform because it provides a fully vertically integrated solution from all the different layers, from data collection, edge logic, IIoT integration, visualization, cloud, and remote access in one single platform, making that all the integration between the machines, now they are commonized. Now they are standardized, and doesn't matter if you have Rockwell, Siemens, Omron, Fanuc, and more, the way that you are talking to all the different devices is unique with a transparent layer of communication. The way that you are talking to your IT systems is unique. So you create this standardization across your organization. This provides the ability of cloning your applications. So now you create one specific application and you can copy and paste to the same factory, to different factories, to different lines. And this vertically integrated solution provides customers by far the most cost-effective solution out there for digital transformation. But if you're not using deviceWISE, how companies are doing this with other products that are out there in the market? And you're going to see that is by creating a significant amount of custom code, what might be extremely costly and extremely risky for the operation. So if you're not using deviceWISE, maybe the first thing that you're going to do is you will start by installing an OPC server, something such as Kepper. What doesn't have the same performance of deviceWISE? deviceWISE has a much lower latency. deviceWISE performs much faster than Kepper in a much more reliable way. But yeah, Kepper has some drivers. And it can provide you all this information in the format of an OPC server that you receive the tags, and then what? Then you need to control, hey, let me monitor this specific tag. Let me know what is my production per minute. And if I am above or below a certain number, I want to take a decision. How do you do this? Well, good luck with that. Hire a software engineer, maybe integrate this one with a Node-RED and start doing this integration. While in deviceWISE, all this is done inside deviceWISE with no additional custom code necessary, just a simple configuration. And then you say this data needs to go to a SQL database, to an Oracle database, to create tickets in my SAP system. No problem. deviceWISE can do all this for you. Without deviceWISE, well, you need to hire more people. You need to have more teams creating this application, these stacks, one on top of the other. And then your CIO came to you and said, I want to see all the data from my factory with a digital twin and dashboards showing me all my production KPIs. No problem. Doing this with deviceWISE is just like building a PowerPoint for your machines. Without deviceWISE, maybe you need to buy another software package, something like Ignition or others. Now, if you want to do a data lake in AWS or Google or Microsoft, deviceWISE can integrate that for you. Without deviceWISE, more custom code. The same thing for remote access and device management. So deviceWISE is unique in its value proposition because it can replace more than 4, 5, 6 different softwares, hundreds, if not thousands of hours of integration with one single solution that provides all these functionalities. And here are a couple of use cases that I would like to share, starting with this specific use case that is the largest electronic producer in the world. This company adopted deviceWISE in the manufacturing of ink cartridges. That was a very challenging project because this line is extremely high frequency. These controllers, these machines, they move so fast, the tags, the data inside the controllers, they move very fast. And you need to be extremely fast to collect all this data in time so you have a reliable data collection and all the traceability for your KPIs. Their vision, and I had the pleasure to be in this factory. This is a factory in Shenzhen in China. When we were doing this deployment, I had the luck to be there and talking to their managers. They came to me and said, Ricardo, listen, China is no longer a low-cost economy. If we want to be competitive, we need to know everything that is happening in my production line, and I need to take decisions faster to make my line more productive. If that's the mindset for a factory in China, this is 100% applicable for North America, for Europe, for Latin America. Data is gold, is what will make your factory more efficient. So here, the first thing that we did was we created this digital twin showing all the states of all the machines. So in this nice control room or in tablets and phones, people know what is the state of every single machine. Then we created with the deviceWISE view all the dashboards, the charts showing what is your actual, what is your forecast, what is your quality yield, what is your throughput analysis, what is your OEE, showing line by line, machine per machine, how your line is performing. So you don't need to wait until the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month to take a decision and to fix something. If a problem happens, you fix it right away, improving the productivity. This brings significant advantages for companies that can have this level of visibility. And having this level of visibility is easier and faster than ever. Another use case that I would like to show is about one of our large customers that they work on packaging machines. And by adopting deviceWISE and putting deviceWISE running inside every single packaging machine, this enables them to have a full visibility in terms of how these machines are performing. Doesn't matter what customer is using this machine, integrating this with local HMIs and remote visualization, as well as secure remote access. So if something is wrong, now customers, they don't need to jump inside an airplane and fly to the certain location and fix something, because they can use deviceWISE, open a secure remote access, and fix things over the air. So what you can do with deviceWISE is absolutely endless, both because of our edge AI machine learning capabilities, as well as our visualization capabilities that comes with the software. Here's one example of an application that we created, and this is part of a program that we call it Smart Start, that it brings templates, applications. Here is the first template that we created for energy monitoring. And you can see here, I put a small video of this application on how that application was created. By using device-wise view, we can collect data from different energy meters, gas meters, pressure meters, integrate this information with the production data, and provide a complete visualization in terms of how efficiently all these resources are being used. And this dashboarding is completely configurable. It doesn't require you to write one single line of code. As I mentioned, it's just like building a PowerPoint. Select your widgets, drag and drop, right click, point to the variable, and that's done. That's the only thing that you need to do to really achieve this incredible layer of understanding of your manufacturing process. If this looks maybe too good to be true, I would like to come here and open the product very quickly, providing you a better understanding of the product itself. So I'm going to do a very quick demo. The first thing that I'm going to open here is device-wise. Device-wise is how you create your local applications and intelligence. Everything starts by collecting data from equipment. So here are a couple of examples of some of the drivers that I downloaded to my machine, to my computer. You can see here drivers for Atlas Copco torque tools. You can see here BACnet for smart buildings equipment. You can see drivers for different types of barcodes, light PLCs like the Backoff, the Bosch Rexroth PLCs, CodeSys, many equipments, they have CodeSys drivers, all the different FANUC drivers for CNCs and robots, MQTT, OPC-UA, OPCDA, Modbus, all the different Mitsubishi PLCs and CNCs, all the Omron PLCs, PeerLink for peer-to-peer mesh network connectivity on your architecture, all the Rockwell drivers, Siemens, etc. So if I am, and here just a small sample of drivers that we have. So if I am collecting data from a Siemens controller, I can just pick my Siemens protocol, appoint my IP address, validate and save. And that's all that I need to have the standardization of my tag trees of all the different devices now. You can see that now all the devices, they just look like the same in my system. And I can open up and see all the different tags that these devices are producing, and sometimes hundreds of thousands of tags that I can read and write from these devices. All my data is available now. What do I do with this data? Well, you can create an incredible amount of edge logic with device-wise without writing a single line of code. By using a drag and drop blocks of logics, I can come and say, hey, run this specific program based on let's say every time that the variable of this specific device change to this number, I want you to do something. Or let's say that I want this based on a certain schedule, and I want to run this report every second, every millisecond, or maybe every first day of the month. I want to collect this data, aggregate this data, calculate some numbers, and based on this, I want to do something. If I want to do mathematical expressions, it's just like using a Microsoft Excel. I can say A plus B. The only thing that I need to do is I need to map what A means, what B means, and that's it. It's done all these algorithms here. Or I can use advanced statistical functions to create more advanced types of integration. So I initiated by collecting the data. Now I am creating my edge logic. Collect this data, calculate something, send this information to a database, contextualize this data, and send this information to my ERP system, or integrate this with different types of outputs in the cloud or on-prem. For your enterprise connections, it's going to be very similar to the ways that you use to integrate it with your OT devices. I can just create new connectors with the endless types of connectors that we have for different types of databases and IT systems, where I just say, get this data and send this data to one specific location. Or even I can store inside deviceWISE itself, as it comes with a light SQL database for you to have short-term storage and using this data to perform certain types of functions here. Or if I want to send this information to the cloud, here are some of the cloud connectors that I downloaded to my computer, such as AWS, Google, and Microsoft Azure. And if I want to create my visual applications, I can use deviceWISE View to do that. So here is deviceWISE View. And what I will do is I will create an HMI with deviceWISE View. As I mentioned in the beginning, deviceWISE View has the same concept of a PowerPoint, but with the ability of collecting real-time data from all the different machines, different types of databases, and any type of data point that you integrated with your deviceWISE. So for example, I can use a value card. I can link this variable to any of the machines that I have connected here to my deviceWISE, and I can bring this information in real time. And the only thing, as you can see, that I need is to drag and drop the widget, right click, and appoint to the variable that I want to monitor. Not only I can see real-time data, but I can in the format of value cards, but also I can add specific types of charts, such as pie charts, line charts, and more. And the only thing that I need to do is keep linking this to the variables that I want to show. And you can see that we have endless types of charts for you to do the type of integration that you need into your project. Not only I have all these different types of widgets for you to do, but to use to visualize data, but you also can use deviceWISE to take decisions inside deviceWISE. So let's say here that I want also to create a certain button. Based on this button, I'm going to say call an action, such as call maintenance. But before calling maintenance, I want the operator to come here and describe the problem. And maybe I want also to use the camera on my specific device to say, read a certain type of barcode. When I read the barcode, I will do all the traceability on my system, and this is created. Now this specific type of application is completely responsive. It can run on any type of tablet, smartphone, or computer, terminal, or industrial HMI in the lines, doing the different types of projects that I described, from connected meters to HMIs for CNCs, different types of controllers, as well as full control rooms. So that was the quick demo that I would like to present today, and I would love to go back now to Amanda in case you guys have any questions. Amanda, passing the ball back to you.
Thanks, Ricardo. Now, just before we get to the questions that Ricardo mentioned, I am going to drop a poll on your screen. If you have any, direct questions, or if you'd like to have one of our experts contact you, and please just respond here on the poll that you see on your screen, and we'll be sure to have someone reach out. We do have time for a few questions, and there is still time to ask a question. So please just submit, and we will do our best to cover it in the time that we've got left here. Ricardo, we've gotten quite a few, so I'm just going to dive right in here. First question, what technology do you have to connect to machines? Is it all OPC?
Excellent question. No, definitely it's not all OPC. Of course, that OPC is one of the many protocols that we have. All the technology and IP of the drivers to connect to both OT devices and IT systems are totally developed by Telit. This is a consequence of more than 20 years of development, and we have the largest list of drivers in the industry. So when required OPC, yes, we can talk OPC UA, OPC DA, client and server, but our recommendation is always use the native driver for you to talk to the devices because this will give you a much higher performance for your applications. So, and even talking a little bit more technical about the drivers that we develop, Telit develops the drivers bare to the metal. So all our drivers are written in NCC, so it can provide real-time federation and integration with the different types of controllers. Different from a CAP server, for example, that is written in C and Java, deviceWISE is written bare to the metal. So the performance of deviceWISE is 7 to 20 times faster than any type of OPC server out there in the market. Especially when you are in discrete manufacturing, this makes a significant change because you don't lose data and you don't create hidden downtime if you are doing some time of handshake of your application where you are sending the information back to the machine prior to the machine doing a certain type of process.
Great, thank you. Next question I have, can I use deviceWISE to replace Kepware and Ignition altogether?
100%, yes. deviceWISE combines all the functionalities that CAP server would provide you in terms of collecting the data with much more, with all the edge intelligence, all the ability of doing your data orchestration, your edge logic, your AI, your machine learning, and also replaces the necessity of a SCADA system like Ignition with deviceWISE view, providing you the ability of creating very sophisticated front-end applications, such as the one for the smart energy that comes with our smart starts that I showed in my presentation, the control room on that specific factory in China, or even the simple HMI that I quickly created here using deviceWISE view. So yes, by having this vertically integrated solution, you don't need to have now multiple softwares like Ignition and Kepware. You can run 100% with one single software, what will reduce the cost of softwares for you. It will reduce the time it takes for you to do these types of projects, and certainly the complexity of your architecture.
Great. Now this is an interesting question. We need to implement a production traceability system in some of our factories. Is deviceWISE a good software for this type of application? And can you elaborate on how this could be done with deviceWISE?
Yeah, it is. Interesting question. Yes, deviceWISE is a great software for production traceability. And I have a lot of experience in these types of projects. We recently deployed one massive project, entire manufacturing, using deviceWISE, where one of the many benefits was on production traceability. So the way that we did it was starting on the traceability of the raw materials that are entering. So on the mixing machines, doing all the integration, saying, okay, for that specific part number that I'm doing on the semi-finished area, all the different components that came. So by using barcode readers, RFID readers, and integration with databases, now I know what were the raw materials that came in that specific process. Now it's moving to the next step on the production line. deviceWISE is doing all this traceability, recording everything that happened from the components that you used to the variables that you had during that specific process to the next one. So when your product hits the end of the line, you know on that specific product that was produced, every single component that was used, all the parameters that happened during the full process, giving you a complete traceability of your project. In that specific project that I mentioned, not only we used barcode readers for following up inside in the line the movement of these materials, but also we added additional sensors for you to measure, okay, here's my hypothetical variables on my controllers during the process coming from my MES system. Here are the real data coming from my controllers. Here is the difference. If there is anything that is not according to the standards, all this information goes straight to the quality team that can understand what happened in this process, approving or rejecting that specific batch prior to having a problem of recall at the end of the day. So yes, deviceWISE is a great tool for production traceability.
Next question I have, and I know you touched on application templates, but I've got a question on here. Does deviceWISE come with templates, and if yes, which ones?
deviceWISE has something that is new, that is what we call the Smart Start. deviceWISE Smart Start are templates that are open source that comes with deviceWISE. And it comes with an OE template, so all the calculations and visualizations for OE, a preventative maintenance, where you can simply define what are the variables that you want to monitor, what are the thresholds, how to learn these specific variables, and then let deviceWISE to do preventative maintenance on these specific devices, integrating this with different types of ticketing systems, or using deviceWISE itself as a system to control this. It comes with a very powerful, simple but powerful application for end-on displays. So it comes with templates for the end-on displays where you can put simple screens, big LED TVs in the production line, showing the status of every single machine. And all these templates comes ready to go inside deviceWISE. And now this is smart energy template that allows you to monitor energy consumption in your factory. So it comes with many different types of templates that you can use them as is, or change, customize it as you want, as it is completely open source.
All right, next question. Can I use deviceWISE to integrate machines to an MES system?
100%. deviceWISE has connectors for any type of MES system. We have lots of experience with this. I personally participated in different projects where we integrated with SAP ME, that is their MES system. We integrated with Siemens Symantec IT, Dassault Apriso, several ones that used homegrown MES integration, where you can integrate it with RESTful interfaces, HTTP, MQTT interfaces, and more. So yes, we have the ability of talking to all different types of MESs.
Okay, I think we've got time for one more question, and this is a great one to end with here. How is the price model?
Good question. The price model really depends in terms of the option of the customer. We like to provide flexibilities to our customer to make the decision that makes most sense for them. deviceWISE can be sold as a perpetual license or as a subscription. So you define if you want to pay deviceWISE per year, or if you want to buy the license and it's your license. It is an extremely scalable business model. This means that if you have 5 machines to be connected, we can sell you the connection for these 5 machines, and you will pay only for these 5 machines. If you have 500 machines, you will grow based on the number of connections. So it is scalable, and it fits for huge deployments and small deployments. We're going to be very happy to discuss the details with you.
Great. I believe that's all the time that we have for today. And like Ricardo said, please reach out. We'd be happy to help you. Be sure to check your inboxes in the coming days for this replay link. Ricardo, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you, everybody who joined us.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day.